This one I know a little bit about. So, first of all, let me just tell you that the city is wonderful at communicating. I have never, ever worked within any organization that is so transparent, so available, and so open. In fact, if you go and join Facebook, you may find updates throughout the day, and there's almost too many of them, quite frankly. And by the way, in our study, when we went through and researched this issue, the best way to communicate with the residents, we found that Facebook was the #1 way that residents responded they are getting information from the city. So I would like to continue that trend. I would also like to see more people involved and come out to the city council meetings, to find some way to volunteer and to work with us. No matter who wins this race, we're going to need your help. You know, Herriman is at a crossroads right now. We've had the Mountain View corridor come through, and it's going to blow this place wide open down near that area of town. And we want to focus on that area and put our economy, the large businesses, we want to focus on that section and grow as fast as we can. We need your help. I need your help. Please come out and support us. Vote for me on any concept. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Describe the federal deficit and how you would reduce it. Just kidding. Okay. Carmen, the question is, do you have a full-time job? And would that job or your current employment detract from your ability to serve and give the focus that Herriman City needs each week? Thank you.
That's really easy. Thank you. I do presently work full-time. I've already talked to my employer, and should I be elected, I will have a reduced amount of involvement, if any. I'm planning on either retiring from that employment or working part-time. My primary focus will be on this job, I can assure you. And at any time I feel like this other part-time job interferes with that, I will quit. Because this has to, and I think I appreciate what Michelle has talked about. We've got to have someone in the seat, in the office, every day. It's just that critical. We have to have someone there. My plan is to be there, to answer questions, to be part, and to help in the administration of the administrative offices, and to work closely with the city manager. I think it's absolutely critical that we do that. So yes, I do work full-time, but as I stand here before you today, I commit to you in the depth of my soul that I will put every effort I can into this position. It's one that you have to do it. And yes, we're paid part-time, but it's a full-time job. Let's just be frank about it. It's a full-time job, paid part-time. But I'm glad to serve. I'm glad to be here because Herriman is an integral part of my life. I love this place. I want it to grow and prosper and to be, and do you catch the vision, if you already have it, of why it's such a wonderful place to live and why you want your children to live there. Thank you.
Okay, so this is a question about the true motive relative to growth. You seem to be getting on the growth questions. The question is this desire, quote unquote, to grow our city just related to the human nature of leaders that want that growth? Or are there actual priorities for growth that match the desire of the citizens about that?
Is there a desire of growth that matches what the citizens want? I don't believe so. I think the citizens of this area moved to this area for a reason, to keep it a nice feel, the Herriman way, the small town Herriman Center way. But unbeknownst to the citizens, that there's got to be some sort of growth and movement forward, or else we die. If we aren't building and developing economic development. You've heard that word probably 1,000 times tonight. Having businesses come into this infrastructure and be able to manage those and get the businesses we currently want and to maintain this community, our taxes are going to increase. Money out of your checking account is going to come into the city account. Now, I'm not sure if any citizen, one citizen wants to write a bigger check to the city. I could be wrong, right? I know I don't. I think it's very important that we continue to grow. But as we've all said before, that's a managed growth. We don't want to be 100,000 by 2025. We have 100,000 build-out projected for 2050. And I think that's very doable with what we have going in the growth pattern right now. We currently have almost 50% of our population is under 18 years old. What does that tell you? There's tons of kids. We all know this from the recent strain on the Jordan School District, from their bond requests, from things that they're asking for us to pay for. Now, obviously the schools need to be built. The infrastructure needs to be built for the schools. The cities need to be prepared and managed and ready for these phases of schools coming in. So we need to have growth. We need to have the residents so that we can get the businesses. We need to make sure that when we call up a big business, Costco, Walmart, Target, all those businesses are going to ask you, what population do you have? What's the radius of those? What's the traffic patterns? How many people can visit my business and give us money? We have to have those questions answered for those businesses to come. And so we have to grow. Now, are we going to stack houses like they did in Daybreak? I sure hope not. And that's one thing that I'm going to help and direct with the city manager and the city engineers and the building department so that we aren't stacking houses on top of each other. Nobody wants that. It doesn't look beautiful, and we want to have a beautiful city. So I think the growth needs to continue, and I'm glad I got that question pretty good. Thanks.
Thanks, Teddy. And just for the audience's knowledge, this will be our last set of questions, and then after this we'll break to the one-on-one interactive session. All right, here's the question. Look at me first. Okay, so the question is, by being mayor of Herriman City, how will you make a difference in the community? Will you be readily accessible to the residents, to the employees of the city? And how does one contact you with questions or concerns? So it's about accessibility as mayor.
Absolutely. I will be accessible to you. I think it's so very, very critical that the mayor be there as often as possible, not only in the city, but supporting the events and the opportunities that are out there. I believe that a mayor needs to be at the table during the day when the Conference of Mayors meets, when the Wasatch Front Regional Council meets, when the metropolitan organizations are deciding what's going to happen for our communities. I believe that a mayor needs to be your champion, that your mayor needs to be there fighting the good fight and tooting the horn of Herriman. I will absolutely be available to you. I will also be available to our city staff because I believe that they need that support. They need to be able to know whether they're going in the right direction. And if not, they need to be able to know what direction to go in. How do you know if you don't have a leader there? I have worked beside them. Over the years, I have been so privileged to work beside them, whether it was on the city council or whether it was serving beside them in the different events that we have had over the years. I won't do anything different than I have always done for you. And I will be available, absolutely accessible. I would like your vote. My name is Michelle Bagley. My cell phone number is 801-856-9528. Thank you.
Okay. Oops, we got two. I'm choosing. Here we go. Okay, this is a question about economic development. It's relative to transportation. This is what it says. What is your stance on the West Side transportation development so far? How will you focus on this in your term as mayor to ensure that we get ahead of our transportation needs and not just struggle to keep up or barely do enough?
Yeah, well, first of all, we're talking about the mountain corridor, is my understanding, and I think that that road has been a blessing to Herriman City. There's just no two ways about it. The speed limit on the road is debatable. I would like to see tracks come down. You know, we have a general plan that includes Salt Lake City Community College coming down to that general vicinity. I would like to see the tracks extend to the college itself. I would like to eventually see the Mountain View Corridor develop. You know, I was born and raised in California, and we don't build roads the same in California. We have overpasses and kind of things that facilitate the flow of traffic a little smoother. That said, I think we do have a very good capacity on that road today. I use it every day now, and I'm quite pleased, again, except for the speed limit, which I think they're addressing. So, I think we can really take it and make a benefit with that. Now, another thing we should plan for is when we start building businesses along that road, we've got to ensure that we can still maintain this traffic flow and get people on and off the road. And we also should maintain visibility for those businesses. We want to promote our businesses, and we can plan for these things. That was a good closing question for me. I really appreciate being here today. This is an honor. My website is deconza.com. You can reach me anytime. I'm always available. If I am elected mayor, I will keep that promise to you as well. I happen to have a position, I'm very blessed in my life, that if I am elected mayor, I can devote full-time as well to this position. And I think that it merits it, especially at this time of great growth. So again, I thank you very much for all being here, and I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, Carmen. Building permits seem to be our source of revenue. We rely possibly too heavily on them. What will you do to create a different source of income stream or streams for the city?
We've never even covered that yet, have we?
No.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. We waited this long to bring up economic development. Let me just say, in conclusion, thank you, Senator Osmond, for being here. And, you know, let me just tell you, these three people are wonderful. They really are. You've seen them tonight, and they're intelligent, they're bright, and they've got a great vision for him. And so, I compliment them. And I hope you share my appreciation for their willingness to run and be here. You know what, I'm not going to go over economic development. You've heard enough about that. Let me just tell you that as mayor, I want to reach out to you. And I'm never going to forget whose city this is. It's yours. It's not the mayor, it's not the city council. It's your city. And I want you to never forget that. And you should take an active role. I hope you do in everything we do. And my door is always going to be open to helping encouraging people to come and visit. I want to hear from you. I want to know your concerns. I want to serve you and be available. That's what a mayor does. Let me just say in conclusion, and I'm not going to bother you with it, and I hope I don't mind, but I'm not going to talk about economic development. I think we've hashed that over too many times already. And I have a greater in-depth formula how we're going to do that. But let me just mention one thing to you. I had a number of people, as I've announced being mayor, and they says, "What are you thinking?" I says, "I had a traumatic brain injury when I was a youth." No, I told them, I says, "You know what?" Because they wonder, why would you do it? Why would I leave a job that's going to pay me, this job is going to pay me 4 times less than I'm making right now? Why would I leave all the benefits I can? I can tell you why I'm leaving. I love this community. And I'm committing to making a better community than it is now. I'm committed to do that. And I'm willing to make a sacrifice, do whatever we need to do. Each one of us in this room has an obligation to be involved in the community in one aspect or the other. We all do. We all share in this city. And it's my hope that we'll all come together and get that vision, that spirit of community involvement. And as mayor, that's my hope to do that, to get out to hear your interests and help you get involved in that whole process. God bless each of you. You're wonderful people, and I really do appreciate you being here. It tells me you have an interest here, and I thank you for being here. Any more questions?
Okay. Teddy, this is an interesting question. So you have my permission to expand on other topics if you'd like to. The question is, how long have you lived in Herriman, and what is your actual financial interest or stake in Herriman City? And then anything else you'd like to expand on to fill up your 3 minutes.
Like I said in my intro, I've been here in Herriman, an official resident for 3 years. Just about 3 years. September will be 3 years. I married into a wonderful family with my wife, and our daughter was born 2 years ago. And we have a wonderful house in Herriman Village. Other than that, I do not own any current other property in Herriman, so my financial establishment is just my single family home, which, just like your home, it's your pride, it's your joy. You don't go out and mow your front yard because you hate your house. You mow it because you love it. And with that, is I do love the city. I've only been here 3 years. All these wonderful people behind me have been here much longer. And I don't believe that being in a city for a certain amount of time makes you less obligated to serving in it, to representing it, and to being able to make it better. I believe that every citizen should do what they need to do to better their self-situation, better the city, and then better the community around them. Now, we have a wonderful, wonderful community. If you guys have ever come out to any city event or any social event, there's tons of people out there. Butterfield Park has movies in the park, it's always packed, it's great, it's a wonderful time. You go to Little League games. We have great community. And that's one thing that's going to continue no matter who's mayor. But I believe, just like these people, that it's a full-time position. And accessibility to me, or to my office, is key. Now, you've heard several of them say open door, and I'm going to leave it open. And I had some great counsel from a really good friend of mine that just served as a mayor for 18 years. And he took the door right off of his office. And everybody thought he was crazy. And I pledged him, that's the same thing I'm going to do. There's not going to be any backdoor, closed room deals. There's not going to be anything that I can't say to any one of you residents that ask me a question. I'll be available 24/7, even though my wife will hate it when that cell phone rings at 2 in the morning because there's a fire on Herriman Hill. Or even a neighbor's house on fire, or something happened traumatically that somebody needs to get addressed. That's the accessibility that I have. Just like the other candidates, I do have a full-time job. I just was recently hired by a corporation about 3-4 weeks ago. And it was actually that Friday that I put my name on a piece of paper, going to represent you and be your voice as Herriman City, that I called him up before I got hired on that Monday and said, FYI, I'm running for mayor. He said, great. That'll be great. And so I already have the backing of my employer to be free and take time as needed. So that's what I want to do for you. You can find more information out at facebook.com, Teddy for Mayor. You can email me at teddyforherrimanmayor@gmail. And my cell phone number is on my bio. It's all over my website. And so check it out. And I appreciate to be your voice and represent your good citizens. Thank you.
Well, candidates, if you could just stand up, and audience, let's just take a moment to thank you. also like to just take a moment and recognize that Representative John Notwell is also here, who represents Herriman. John, if you'd stand up for just a second. So the plan now is that we will excuse our candidates to go to their tables there in the entryway and meet with you individually, answer your specific questions. We have, I think, until 9 o'clock, is that right? For us to be able to spend some time with you. So we'll excuse the candidates to go and do that. And then I want to thank all of you for your time and effort to be here this evening and encourage you again to please talk to your neighbors, to others in your business, to make sure that they come out and vote. Again, early voting begins on July 30th and goes until August 9th. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a